Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan. We're talking NFL Draft. We're in the NFC North at this point. And if you've been following along, we're doing the mock draft simulation available on thedraftnetwork.com. I suggest checking it out. What I've been doing is one team at a time against the predictive board. And you try to do this a few times. You'll see a lot of different options come your way and a lot of different scenarios to play out. So you can see what teams deal with on draft day. There's always curveballs thrown in, especially with trades. So getting ready for different possibilities is what the NFL teams do to better plan their attack for draft day. So you should too, if this is the kind of thing you're interested in. Now, for Vikings fans, there's a couple of top 100 draft picks. There's a few of them. There's not a lot of draft capital, but for what you need to fill on this team, I think you really have what you need. At pick number 18, I went with Andre Dillard, offensive tackle out of Washington State. As much as I disagree with how much you paid Kirk Cousins last offseason, I don't think he is a playoff quarterback. I think he's a regular season guy. But hey, with the money that you sunk into him, he shouldn't have been running scared the way he was last season. With the money that you should have in your running back core, considering how good Cook was a few seasons ago, maybe you'd want to give him blockers so he's not folding his leg in half the wrong direction again. So, yeah, Andre Dillard out of Washington State makes sense to me here. He's a fantastic pass blocker. Okay, he's not the greatest run blocker, but fixing that left tackle position will strengthen the entire unit. You'd be able to move some people inside that are better suited for that sort of work. And yeah, you need to protect Cousins better. You need to give him more time so he can start using those weapons that you have on the outside a lot better. And an offensive tackle just makes sense here. Now, at pick number 50, similar theme here. We went with guard Elton Jenkins, Mississippi State. Now, there's a random G in his name, so I'm not really quite sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. Hope I did. But yeah, he's built for this position. Okay, he is big. He is the prototype size. He's like 6'4", 6'4.5", 315 to 320, depending on what lookup you're looking at. And just a monster. Okay, guards you can find deep in the draft, 50 through 80. Those positions are typically when NFL teams pick up their offensive line talent. They only really go high in the draft when it's a premier talent like Quentin Nelson was. You don't really have that in this year, but you're still going to find high-quality, long-term starters like Mr. Jenkins here. Now, at pick number 81, I went with Dramont Jones, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Obviously, you need to fill some holes on that defensive front with how things have gone in more recent off-seasons, with the losses you've had. You want to keep that defense stout. So a guy like Jones, if nothing else, adding into a defensive line rotation will help strengthen that and keep you moving in the right direction. A draft like this, addressing a lot of needs at good positional draft points. Now, you don't want to draft for need. Obviously, you hear that all the time, but when your needs match up really well with where you have these players graded, it's kind of dumb not to. So this is how the draft board fell, and it worked out well because offensive defensive lines are important positions for the Vikings. They actually have a lot of talent in the other positions, so you can ignore those this draft. This isn't the end of the offseason, though. Okay, folks? After the draft, people are going to be making cuts based off of who they're able to pick up in the first few rounds. And you're going to be able to scoop up talent that way as well. Obviously, you signed Adam Thielen to a long-term deal. That's important. You're going to have Dalvin Cook coming back from all of his injuries from the past year. Hopefully, he returns to form from a few years ago, and you can make a push. Personally, I think the Packers have done enough in this division, and the Bears are strong enough to keep Minnesota out of the playoffs. Essentially the length of Cousins' contract. Yeah, they're just not built for it, mostly because Cousins, I don't think, is the kind of guy that's carrying a team in through deep in the playoffs. He's just not. Now, look, if you disagree with me, I get it. I love my team too. So, go ahead and comment with who you think the Vikings should take in this draft. And we'll keep the conversation going right up until draft time.